Hello everyone and welcome to ibpsguide.com. I hope you guys are doing absolutely awesome. So yesterday the interim budget was announced of 2019. So we'll look into the highlights of the interim budget announced yesterday. You can also visit our website, which is www.ibpsguide.com. There you'll be finding a lot of articles for downloading, and also you'll be finding daily free MCQs as well, wherein you can solve them and get the smart analysis. From the smart analysis, you can let yourself know in which section you're weaker and in which section you're strong, so that you can work on yourself depending upon the analysis which you have got. You can also download our mobile application, which is available on the Play Store. To start with, our actual Finance Minister, which is Arun Jaitley, is unwell, and because of that, PiyushGoyal was appointed as Union Finance Minister, the interim Union Finance Minister, that is until Arun Jaitley comes and takes charge. So hence PiyushGoyal itself presented the budget 2019 in the Parliament. So PiyushGoyal was appointed as interim Finance Minister when on January 23rd, with Arun Jaitley undergoing treatment in the United States. If we look into the interim budget which was announced yesterday, we'll get to know that the budget was concentrated on three areas, majorly these three areas, and the other areas also which we'll be discussing. But the major three areas are farmers and the informal workers area, and then the salaried taxpayers. Especially these areas and these population were majorly concentrated. So when it comes to farmers, we can divide the actual budget into three parts. One thing is DBT, or the direct benefit transfer, and the second most concentrated thing was agriculture and allied sectors. We'll discuss about the allied sectors also. And the third one was interest subvention scheme. Now with respect to DBT, we can see that Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. Okay, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme was started. So what happens under this scheme is, this is the initiation of UBI. You know what is UBI? UBI is Universal Basic Income. That is, besides your income, besides your occupation, besides your employment, even if you are unemployed, the government will owe you so much amount of money. So it is called as universal, and it is basic, it is income. Universally it will be applicable, and it is basic, and it is income. So this Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme can be called as quasi-universal. Okay, because it is not applicable for everyone. It is applicable to farmers, and that too the farmers who possess the land area less than 2 hectares. So this is important. Land areas less than 2 hectares, they will be provided with the amount of 6,000 rupees per year. 6,000 rupees per year will be provided, and this will be given in the installment of 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 equally. Okay, this is the first thing which will come under DBT, or direct benefit transfer. The number of people it will help or benefit is around 2 crore farmers will be benefited from this, and the outlay is around 75,000 crores. So 75,000 crores which will be allocated for all the 12 crore farmers for providing this 6,000 rupees per year as direct benefit transfer. And the next one is with respect to the respect for cows, or the allied sector also we can call it as the Rashtriya Kamadhenu Ayog. Rashtriya Kamadhenu Ayog will be set up for sustainable genetic upgradation of cow resources. Now we have to look at one more thing, which is Rashtriya Gokul Mission, or this is also called as RGM. The main aim of Rashtriya Gokul Mission is to conserve our indigenous Indian breed of cattle. So this is to conserve our cattle, and the outlay for this is increased to 750 crore. The next part under farmers will be with respect to allied sectors of agriculture, that is sericulture, horticulture, fisheries, animal husbandries. All these things comes under allied sectors. This they are concentrating more, because farmers should not be dependent upon only one source of income. So to diversify those sources, they have given more prominent for allied sectors, like new separate department for fisheries for the welfare of around 1.5 crore fishermen is started. And there is also interest subvention scheme. So whatever interest you'll be taking, for example, if you are taking 100 rupees as a loan, this is just an example. So if you are paying like 4% of interest, then you have to pay only 2%. The rest 2% will be paid by government only. So if the interest is around 6%, then in this 2% will be paid by government. That stands for interest subvention for farmers for animal husbandry and fisheries activities. So this they have done to diversify the income of the farmers, and then additional 3% is given in case of timely repayment. So if you have paid it properly, if your EMIs or the loan repayment is fine, then for this 6% which we took as example, this will be 3%, that is 3% government will be paying. And then one more thing is that the allocation for MG Narega or Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program has been increased to 60,000 crore for the year, for the financial year 2020. See, even now the allotment for MG Narega is less. If we compare it to 2018, the allotment is still less because by March our funds will be over. But the MG Narega employment scheme, they have already spent around 99% of the funds and people are already unemployed in this sector. So that is why they have increased the allocation of 5,000 crore by providing 60,000 crore for financial year 20. If we take into account the data of 2018, then we'll get to know that around 80 to 81% of all our employed persons in India are in informal sector. And nearly 6.5% is in formal sector. And hence, to concentrate or to cater to this audience or these people, the government has come up with the unorganized sectors pleasing programs also. So unorganized sector will receive a monthly payment of 3,000 rupees, and this payment will be given as pension. Okay, under this also there will be condition. For example, if a person is 18 years old, then they have to be paying 55 rupees or so, and the equal amount will be paid by government as well. So something like this, till the age of 60 years they have to be paying, and after that the amount will be given as 3,000 rupees per month as pension to them. So this scheme will cost the government rupees 500 crore. So employees state insurance eligibility cover limit is being raised to rupees 21,000 per month from the present rupees 15,000 per month, and the gratuity limit was also increased from 10 lakh to 30 lakh. And with respect to health, in this year's budget, that is interim budget, there are two things which you have to keep in mind. One is they have mentioned about Ayushman Bharat, which is our biggest health scheme, and the other one which they are talking about is there are already around 21 aims which are operating and which are being established, as these were announced since 2014, and the 22nd one or the 22nd aims will be set up in Haryana also. Now let us look into some data with respect to this direct tax proposals. Before we revise about the direct tax proposals, we'll look into this. The before situation was that 0% would be the tax up till 2.5 lakh, and from 2.5 lakh till 5 lakh you have to be paying around 5% as the tax. Okay, and from 5 lakh till 10 lakh, if your income is from 5 lakh or till 10 lakh, you have to be paying 20% of the tax, and above 10 lakh you have to be paying 30% of the tax. Now one thing which you have to keep in mind with respect to this is that the slab remains the same, okay, but then what they have done is they have made changes to Income Tax Act's section 87A. So what change they have made to this section 87A? The change which they have made is that it was before like 2,500 rupees and it was increased to around 12,500 rupees, and because of this the amount that was of 2.5 lakh is now increased to 5 lakh, and the others will always be the same. That is, if you are earning above 5 lakh till 10 lakh it will be 20% even now, and above 10 lakh it will be 30% even now. So I hope you have understood. The only thing which I meant to say here was that the slab is not increased, just they have tweaked with 87A of IT Act, the section of IT Act. And one more thing they are mentioning about standard deduction. The standard deduction is increased to 50,000 rupees while it was 40,000 rupees. See, the standard deduction itself was introduced last year. So standard deduction which was introduced last year was of 40,000 rupees. Okay, this they have increased to 50,000 rupees. This will be beneficial. Let me tell you an example for this. Okay, we'll understand this with an example. Let us take our salary or our gross salary is 5 lakh. So before it was like for transport allowance you would be paying 19,200 or something, okay, and for medical allowance you would be getting 15,000 or something, okay, let us take it as 15,000 only. They cancelled this, and after this they started giving 40,000, okay. You spend this 40,000, this is the standard deduction, okay. What this benefited was the net salary in this case was 4,65,800, while in this case for the same 4 lakh was around 4,60,000. That is, they can show a little lesser of income, that is they'll be remaining with more. So this remain of 40,000 is increased to 50,000 now, okay. Individual with gross income of up to 6.5 lakh. So the extra 1.5 lakh, that is above 5 lakh, the extra 1.5 lakh whichever is there, that will be dependent upon the investment in the government schemes. For example, you can take it as saving certificate, national saving certificate, or post office savings, or public provident fund, or insurance, which are related to government schemes. In that case you will be having a rebate till 6.5 lakhs. And then they have given the TDS threshold for home rent is increased, and the interest income up to 40,000 in post offices and banks made tax free capital gains tax exemptions under section 54 will be applicable up to 2 crore. Then the other direct tax proposals are like this, that is the TDS threshold for deductions of tax on rent is increased from 1.8 lakh to 2.4 lakh, and then next one is the tax benefit for affordable housing is extended till 31st March 2020 under the section 80 IBA, that is Income Tax Act, okay. And then the benefit of rollover capital gains, this is provided to 2 residential houses for the capital gains of up to 2 crore. And the last one is that capital gains exemption to be available on 2 house properties, that is income tax relief on notional rent from unsold houses extended to 2 years from 1 year. Next thing with respect to fiscal deficit is that we had said that we had to maintain the fiscal deficit of up to 3%, but this year it is pegged at around 3.4% of GDP for 2019-2020. However, the government has said that the 3% fiscal deficit will be achieved by 2020-2021. Now the total expenditure is increased by around 13% to 27,84,200 crore in 2019-2020, and the capital expenditure for 2019-2020 is 3,36,292 crores, and CSS or the centrally sponsored schemes allotment is increased for 3,27,679 crore, and the National Education Mission allocation is increased by 20%. So the Education Mission allocation has increased by 20% to 38,572 crore for 2019-20. Next, with respect to ICDS, that is Integrated Child Development Scheme. Actually the ICDS or Integrated Child Development Scheme was launched in 1975, but later from 1978 it was discontinued, but later on it was already started. So the main aim of this Integrated Child Development Scheme is that it is a government's program in India, that is which provides for food, preschool education and primary health care. Food, preschool education and primary health care. So food, education and health care to children under 6 years of age and also their mothers. The health care is for children under 6 years of age and also their mothers, okay. So the allocation for this is increased by over 18% to 27,584 crore in 2019-2020. Next thing is that substantial increase in allocation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Allocation for scheduled caste is increased by 35.6%. That is, it was before it was 56,619 crore, and this time it is 76,801 crore. And the allocation for STs has been increased by 28%. That is from 39,135 crore to 50,086 crore. And the government is confident of achieving disinvestment target of 80,000 crore. In 2015, Prime Minister had launched something called as Mudra scheme. Okay, Prime Minister had launched Mudra scheme, and this was meant for non-corporate, non-farm, small and micro enterprise, and it was launched in 2015. This was to provide loans to these MSMEs of up to rupees 10 lakh. Okay, and now the finance minister has announced a sanction of 15.56 lakh loans amounting to 7.23 lakh crore under the Mudra scheme. And then there is the construction of rural roads has tripled. Construction of rural roads has been tripled under the NDA government under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and an amount of 19,000 crore has been allotted for 2019-20. Then with respect to poor and backward classes, like for the recently announced 10% reservation, to balance this out, 25% additional seats will be allotted in the educational institution, but this will act as negative because a lot of educational institutions now are vacant. For example, if we see in whole of India, around 50 to 51% of engineering, that is BE or BTech seats are vacant, and if we consider in MBBS, at least 20 to 30% of the seats are vacant. So this allocation will be a little difficult, but still they are targeting for this additional seats in the educational institutions to balance for the reservation. And then the targeted expenditure to bridge urban-rural divide and to improve quality of life in villages, they are wanting to provide 100% electricity by March 2019. Okay, by March 2019. For this also they had started a scheme Saubhagya before, because it was very difficult for government to achieve 100%, and when it was complained that they started the Saubhagya scheme also. Now they are hoping to complete it by March 2019 because most of them are already under construction, so it has to be done by March 2019. We will however wait and see till March 2019 how much percent of this 100 will be completed for complete electrification. One more thing which you have to remember is that if a village has 10% household, if in a village only 10% household if has electricity, then the whole village is considered to be electrified. This is according to Government of India itself. There are a lot of infrastructure related projects which the government does from time to time in Northeast because of the location of the Northeast and the people in the Northeast. Now the allocation will be increased by 21% to 58,166 crores. In Arunachal Pradesh came on a air map recently. Arunachal Pradesh, when we consider our geography, Arunachal Pradesh is of utmost importance because in our 1962 war, we had fought with China and we lost our northeastern part of Kashmir, that the place which we call as Aksai Chin. Now the China is aiming on Arunachal Pradesh, claiming the Arunachal Pradesh part to be belonging to the Tibet region, and however later on it will be belonging to China only. So that is why on timely manner India concentrates on Arunachal Pradesh. Now Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram came on the India's rail map for the first time. This is to increase the connectivity and to increase the people to people contact and to increase the tourism in the area. These projects will be undertaken. And later on the container cargo movement though improved through navigation capacity of the Brahmaputra, that is inland navigation, okay, which is inland water navigation, inland waterway. Later on, new welfare development board, and this will be under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. There will be the board which will be established for denotified nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes. Now what do you mean by nomadic people? Nomadic or the nomadic member is one of a community who will keep on wandering, that is there is no fixed habitation for them. They'll always be wandering from one place to another in search of food. So now they are setting up a new committee under Niti Aayog to identify all the remaining nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes, so that for their development the new welfare development board will be established, so that the overall development of these nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes will be done. Next, with respect to development of villages, the government has promised to make 1 lakh villages into digital villages. Now what do you mean by digital villages? The one wherein e-governance facility is available, that is medical facility or the medical things can be given through e-governance, and they can file for Aadhaar, they can file some complaints, or the other related services like banking services can be provided through digital means. So this will be done in over next 5 years. Next, we'll see with respect to defense. With our neighbors like Pakistan and China, while China is surrounding Indian Ocean region by building a port in Myanmar and then in Sri Lanka and then in Pakistan, by making this connection properly and also having that BRI road and CPEC, the increased need for security has been on rapid growth. So because of this, the defense budget is to cross 3 lakh crore for the first time ever, because for us defense is very important, and this is with respect to our neighbors also. So rupees 35,000 crore has been disbursed for the soldiers under OROP, that is one rank one pension, for which there was fight before. But this has happened first time that the defense provisions or the amount for the defense is allocated up to 3 lakh crore rupees. This is the first time which has happened. So this is very important. So please keep this in mind. As there is no separate railway budget, we will see what they have done for railway thing. Okay, the first thing in this is that the capital support of 64,587 crore is proposed for 2019-2020 from the budget, and the overall capital expenditure will be 1,58,658 crore. And they have also mentioned about Vande Bharat Express, that is train 18. This we had discussed in the current affairs quiz as well. This is an indigenously developed semi high speed train, or which we call as engineless train as well. Okay, and then the operating ratio for the railways is expected to improve from 98.4% to 96.2% in 2019 to 95% in 2019-2020. So in 2017-18 it was 98, now it was 96, and it is expected to be 95 in 2019-2020. We'll see a few highlights with respect to MSME sectors and traders. We had recently seen in our quiz that DIPP, that is Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, was renamed to Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade. This was done to support the startups as well. Okay, now they have provided for 2% interest subvention on incremental loan of rupees 1 crore for GST registered SMEs, and the women owned SMEs is also concentrated, that at least 3% of the 25% sourcing for the government undertaking will be from women owned SMEs, that the raw material will be going from the women owned MSMEs, that is SMEs. With respect to entertainment industry, the finance minister also mentioned about the movie Uri, and there are two developments with respect to entertainment industry. One of them is the single window clearance, and the second one is to stop the piracy. So to introduce anti-cam recording provisions in the Cinematograph Act to control piracy, and then they'll be providing with the single window clearance as well for ease of shooting films. Next, we'll look into some other announcements or the miscellaneous sections. First of all this is that government is concentrating more on the cutting edge technologies. So now what are the cutting edge technologies? For example, artificial intelligence is cutting edge technologies, data science is cutting edge technologies, blockchain technology, or this is also one of the cutting edge technologies which is used in the cryptocurrencies. So government from time to time is stressing on these cutting edge technologies to solve the usual problems of the state. So now new National Artificial Intelligence Portal will be set up to support national program on artificial intelligence. And also now RBI's prompt corrective action or PCA, which provides for lending norms, and for the expansion there will be curtailment on the expansion and the lending. The Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra and Oriental Bank of Commerce will not be under this RBI's prompt corrective actions. And the gratuity cap is doubled to 20 lakhs. The Vande Bharat Express, which we have discussed earlier, and then the ESI cover limit is increased to 21,000, and the minimum pension also is increased to rupees 1,000. The other miscellaneous announcements are that the contribution to the new pension scheme has been increased to 14% from 4%. Before it was 4%, now it is 14%, and the working women are entitled for 26 weeks of maternity leave. This is the paid maternity leave. So these were the important highlights of our interim budget 2019-2020. I hope you people might have liked the lesson. So if you visit our website, that is ibpsguide.com, you will find all these books, the ultimate books for seating arrangement problems and the puzzles, data interpretations, application sums, printed editions. They are available on the website. You can follow the links, and the links will also be provided in the description. You can follow them and get these books. That's all for today. If you felt that the video was beneficial enough, then please click the like button, and if you haven't subscribed already to our channel, click the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon to get the notifications up to date. You can also check our social media pages as well. The link for all these things will be in the description. Thank you. I'll see you people in the next video.